Once upon a time, in a magical forest far away, there lived a brave little rabbit named Nibbles. Nibbles was small and covered in the softest white fur that seemed to glow under the moonlight. With his large, expressive eyes, he looked at the world with wonder, though often with a hint of fright. The forest where Nibbles lived was enchanting but could become quite eerie at night. Strange sounds echoed through the trees, and eerie glowing eyes sometimes blinked through the dense shadows. But Nibbles loved his home because it was beautiful and full of life. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the forest transformed into a silhouette of shadows, Nibbles discovered that his dear friend, Whiskers the squirrel, was missing. Whiskers was known for his adventurous spirit, but he always returned home before dark. The realization filled Nibbles with worry, and a whispering voice inside his half-trembling heart said, "Venturing into the dark forest alone is dangerous," but another part of him, stronger, braver, urged, "Your friend needs you, be brave." Gathering his courage, Nibbles decided to face his fears and set out into the shadowy forest to find his lost friend. The forest seemed alive, its trees whispering secrets, its paths cloaked in enigmatic mystery. The gentle narrator's voice began, "In the heart of the forest, courage shines brighter than fear." With subtle cinematic lighting, the forest glimmered between darkness and moonlit glow, casting long shadows that danced eerily on the paths. As Nibbles hopped cautiously, he encountered the first challenge, shadowy figures that seemed to move between the trees. Were they real, or merely tricks played by the faint light? With a shiver of fear, Nibbles remembered an old trick. Using his white fur as camouflage, he stood very still, blending into a patch of moonlight until the figures passed by, leaving him unharmed. Further in, Nibbles found himself engulfed in a maze of thick fog. The world seemed to spin. Losing direction was all too easy here, but Nibbles had keen ears, and he perked them to listen. Birds sang in the distance through the fog, guiding him with their song out of the misty labyrinth. The narrator softly revealed, "The song of friends often leads us home." His journey took him to a broken bridge that spanned a bubbling brook. The bridge was old, with missing planks and creaky ropes. It seemed impossible to cross, but Nibbles was determined. He carefully calculated his path, leaping nimbly over gaps. Heartened, Nibbles pressed on, certain that Whiskers must be nearby. The forest had tested him, but he had remained resilient, and his fears had transformed into courage. Finally, by a grand, ancient oak tree, Nibbles found Whiskers. The squirrel had accidentally trapped himself in a circle of brambles while seeking adventure and was trying to gnaw his way free. "I knew you'd come," Whiskers chirped joyously as Nibbles helped him escape. The two friends embraced. The warm, triumphant music of their reunion filled the air. The forest seemed to join in their joy. As soft fireflies illuminated the scene with their gentle sparkles, Nibbles had come through the forest's trials stronger, now knowing he could face any challenge. As they hop-skipped home together under the moonlit canopy, the narrator echoed Nibbles' journey. "Fear is a shadow, courage is the light that guides us through." In the days that followed, Nibbles' tale spread throughout the forest. The story reminded everyone of the power of friendship and bravery, and though he was still small in size, Nibbles' heart was now as big and bright as the moon itself, forever brave, forever wise.